Hey everyone, welcome back to another spontaneous commentary video on my second channel. Hey, this is the third one. This might be a trend. Today I'd like to talk about the Knuckles TV show that they're developing for Paramount Plus, and we've known about this show for a while, and I was actually kind of wondering if it was still gonna happen because we hadn't heard anything about it for like a year, so I was like, did they just forget? Did they forget that they announced this show? But hey, they announced today that they are filming it, like filming starting today. Now, it is a Paramount Plus exclusive, which means barely anyone is going to watch it. Like, have you heard of Paramount Plus before? I don't even know if most people have heard of it. Like, they've only had like 2 shows on it that are of any worth, and one of them is like the Halo show that all the fans hated. I'm not actually a Halo guy. I just heard that Halo fans didn't like the show. So, from what I've seen, Paramount Plus doesn't really have a lot to offer, and I'm not really sure if the Knuckles TV show is gonna be the thing to like get it off the ground. When they first announced that they were doing a Knuckles show, I was like, oh, cool, I actually kind of liked Knuckles in Sonic 2. He was my favorite part of the movie, and I was thinking, what if they did a show with Knuckles where they explored some Sonic concepts and characters that couldn't really be put in a movie, like maybe like the Chaotix or something, because Knuckles and the Chaotix, they have a history together. You can make a show where he like meets them and they go on a little adventure together. It's like, because the Chaotix aren't really popular enough to be in a movie, but you could put them in a show, like use this show to explore things that aren't popular enough to go into the movie. When they announced today that they were filming, they actually shared this image, which I'll put on screen now, of the hat Knuckles wore in the OVA, and I was like, ooh, that's cool. It's a little reference. Like, maybe he'll wear the hat in the show. Maybe, I don't know, but like the hat's there. Maybe this is finally the one where they start caring about the fan base. But then I read the synopsis, and this show's about Wade. It's about Wade. They're making a show about Wade. Here's the official synopsis, which I'm just quoting Discussing Film on this. The series, set between Sonic 2 and 3, follows Knuckles as he agrees to train Wade as his protege and teach him the ways of the Echidna warrior. What? Do you even remember Wade? I tried talking to some people about this show announcement, and I told them Wade was going to be a main character, and they said, who's Wade? Because yeah, most people forgot who he was, which shows how much of an impact he had on the franchise. He's that dumb comic relief cop, if you remember. He breaks into the Mean Bean coffee machine in the second movie, Sonic and Tails go meet him, and he's making Ghostbusters reference, and he's like, welcome to the Wade Cave, which is something I hope to say to a woman someday. He's not funny. I don't know what the general consensus is on Wade, but I hate him. He's like one of my least favorite characters in that movie because he's supposed to be a comic relief, but literally every character in that movie is a comic relief. Like, anytime Eggman's on screen, he's just cracking jokes. So why do you need another character to just crack jokes when you already have so many characters in the movie that do that? He's a complete waste of screen time, and every scene he's in, I'm just like, why is he here? I don't know if you guys remember in Sonic 2, but I rewatched it last week, so I remember this. There's that scene where Wade just breaks into the coffee place and captures Agent Stone and interrogates him. What was the point of that scene? Literally nothing happens in that scene to progress the plot. It is just there to waste time in a 2-hour movie. You could have cut that scene completely and nothing would have changed except I don't know, you lose one quote unquote funny line of dialogue, but it wasn't that funny, guys. Wade's not funny. He's just a dumb guy. That's it. So now Knuckles is going to be training him to become an Echidna warrior. That sounds so dumb. I do not want to see Knuckles train a live-action human in the ways of the Echidna. That sounds so boring. It sounds so... I don't even know how to put it into words. Can you imagine this in your head? Knuckles, this short little red guy walking up to, Wade, this, tall, normal dude, and it's all right, I'm going to teach you how to be an Echidna. Here, Echidna punch. And then Wade's like, Echidna punch. And he does something, dumb, because he's the dumb guy. And then Knuckles will be like, oh, brother. And that's it. That's what the show is going to be. They're doing the one thing that you should never, ever do when writing something for your franchise, making the comic relief the main character. Have we forgotten Cars 2? Have we forgotten the Minion movie and how those 2 movies completely failed because they put the character who was supposed to make the dumb jokes in the center leading role? How have we not learned from this? Why are we repeating this? And I'm sure people are going to be saying, oh, oh, well, it's the Knuckles show, so Knuckles is the main character, right? Well, how this plot summary is reading, it seems like Knuckles and Wade are gonna be like the co-stars. Kinda like how Sonic and Tom were the co-stars in the first Sonic movie. This is Knuckles and Wade. I liked Knuckles in that movie. I didn't like Wade, and I'm not really sure how they're gonna bounce off of each other, because Knuckles was also kind of a dumb character, but like in a charming way, like it was like a mix of like stoicism and I guess obliviousness, like that was his whole character and that was fun. But now you're just pairing him up with someone that's just like completely dumb. How is that gonna work from like a writing perspective? I don't see how they can make this dynamic interesting. Unless they completely change Wade's character, but I don't know why they would do that either. Obviously, I cannot make a final judgment off of the show just based on this information. I'm not saying this show is going to be good or this show is going to be bad solely based on this. Maybe this show will be good, but like, I've lost all hope, man. I already had low expectations for this, but like, this just like put a nail in the coffin for me. I have no excitement for this show. But they used the OVA hat in the teaser image, so this is gonna be good and for the fans. No, it's a cheap surface level reference just to get fans excited and to have something cool to post on Twitter. I'm not even sure if he's gonna wear that hat in the show. Like, the hat means nothing. We need to judge the show based on what it actually is, not the teaser images that they put out. To me, the plot summary says way more about what this show is going to be than the one image where you see the OVA hat. I don't know, man. I'm just tired of the sentiment that these are like movies for the fans. Because when you look at something like the Mario movie that has so much passion and care put into it, that's really obvious that the people working on this cared about Mario. It just kind of makes the Sonic movies look lame, like in comparison, because it almost feels like there's just nothing Sonic about those movies. And also, they're just not very well written, if I'm being completely honest. I rewatched Sonic Movie 2 a few days ago, like I said, to compare it to the Mario movie. And when you take away like all that theater hype of being excited to see, Super Sonic and the Master Emerald and all that stuff, you strip that away from it now that you know it's coming, there is nothing to latch onto in this film. Like, it was so boring. I did not like my rewatch of this movie because I was left to just sit with all the other parts of the movie that kind of mildly annoyed me. But, when I first watched it, I was like, oh, it doesn't matter. Like, Super Sonic's here, it's fine. But now that I knew Super Sonic was going to be there, I had to spend more time thinking about all the bad elements, and so they just got on my nerves. And so I was hoping that, with the Mario movie kind of proving how to really do a video game movie, the Sonic movie crew would be like, hey, maybe we should change this up. Maybe we should learn a few lessons from this. But this plot summary makes it seem like they're learning nothing, because they're bringing Wade back. If they were truly learning and it's like, okay, we want to make a true Sonic thing, they would not make Wade a main character in the Knuckles show. But yeah, in summary, Knuckles show does not look to be learning from the mistakes of the last two films, and instead is trying to double down on it, and now I just have no hype. Unless one of the trailers looks really interesting, because again, I can't fully judge the show yet because they are literally starting filming today. Unless the trailer looks good, I'm just not gonna watch it. I mean, why pay for Paramount Plus to watch a Sonic show that's just not gonna be good, I'm just gonna wait for the next batch of Sonic Prime episodes, because that show's not, like, great, but it's at least a Sonic show, At least it feels like it's Sonic. Also, I should clarify this at the very end before I end this video. Please do not send any hate towards the cast or crew of this show. That is the wrong way to communicate your feelings, and it usually just leads to people, generalizing critics as, like, online trolls or haters. So don't do that, they're just doing their job. Like, I have nothing against them. I do have something against the product, but they are not the product, Alright, that's all I have to say about this. Discuss in the comments below your thoughts on the Knuckles show. I'd love to hear them, and I'll see you in the next one. Maybe if I do another one, we'll see. These are all very spontaneous, so who knows? Bye-bye!